So with the NBA draft rapidly approaching, we've been breaking down any and all potential candidates for that 22nd pick that the Suns have. Recently, we've talked a couple of Tylers, Kolek and Smith, which both of us are very high on. They both recently had a private workout with the Suns, but there was a third name involved, Ryan Dunn from Virginia, a 6'6" wing defender with crazy long arms. It's one of the three things they need. We're talking a Jaden McDaniels type, a Jared Vanderbilt type, long, rangy defender that can defend multiple wing positions, even guarding some centers sometimes. So we start looking into Ryan Dunn, and the more we pulled that thread, the more interesting things got. Sundo, what have you stumbled upon?
You've heard every bit of news and rumors about the 22nd overall pick or players they can move or whatever. So me and you were just looking at mock drafts to see potentially where would this Ryan Dunn go, where would Tyler Smith go, where would Kolek go, Filipowski, etc. And there has been one common theme in every single one of these mock drafts, and that is if the Suns don't take Tyler Kolek at 22, the Knicks end up taking Tyler Kolek at 24 and Ryan Dunn at 25. Every single one of them. Every bit of news we've looked up is that the Knicks like Dunn and Kolek. And then every other bit of news that we've seen is that the Suns like Kolek. And so what I think is happening here is there's a little bit of gamesmanship going pre-draft where the Suns are like, hey, we're going to bring this kid in for a visit. We know the Knicks really like him. We also like Kolek. Maybe we can convince the Knicks to move up and go get Ryan Dunn. We can then accumulate some more draft capital for it. And then we take Kolek at 24. And then we end up having some extra draft capital, maybe a second here, a second there for the future. That's just what I'm thinking, because every single mock draft we have seen in the last week have all shown the same. If the Suns don't take Kolek, the Knicks end up taking them and Dunn. But if the Suns take Kolek, then the Knicks take Dunn and somebody else every single time.
I'm seeing a different pattern, and watch us both end up being wrong. I have a feeling that the Knicks are more interested in Ryan Dunn. I can go on and on about how great I think this prospect is. Defensively, he would solve a lot of problems for the Suns.
Look, bro, we watched the tape. I told you the measurements that he had. He's 6'6" and a quarter without shoes, so measuring out at 6'7", 6'8" on the court with a 7'2" wingspan, a standing reach of 8 feet 7 inches, Gabe, and a vertical. And this is what I think is the big one. A vertical of 38 and a half at 6'8" is ridiculous. The dude is an athletic freak. We watched the highlights. As far as him being a defender, is unreal in every passing lane, blocking, able to play the post very well defensively, blocking all sorts of shots. Not only that, we saw his dunking highlights, and then there are a few very, very underrated turnaround mid-range jump shots in these highlights. The kid is a very interesting prospect, and it's clear to see why the Knicks would like him. It's just, you look at him and you say, ooh, that's nice.
So what I'm saying is if they want him and you bring him in as a little flex, like, yeah, we're a couple of picks ahead of you, New York, and we like this kid too. And I tell you, we might draft him unless you want to move up to 22. And it'll only cost you 24 and 25, where the Suns are able to go and get both Tyler Smith and Tyler Kolek. That's what I think they're working at. That's the scheme I would try to grift, and it makes so much sense.
So essentially we're saying the same thing, but what you're saying is I was aiming too low. You feel like the Suns would be aiming much, much higher and saying, give us those 2 picks. We'll give you this one, not give us that 24 and maybe some more different capital down the road. You want both 24 and 25 immediately. That's what you're saying.
That's best case scenario.
Best case scenario for sure.
The Knicks would have to be 100% sold on Ryan Dunn. That's why you bring him in. You make them think, hey, look, we like him too. So if you don't want to trade, that's fine. We'll be fine taking him and having our defender that can go shut down Ant. We need him too.
Yeah, it would be super helpful to have a player like that on your team. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. If we had him on the team, that would be an immediate defensive help off the bench for sure. And I feel like you could develop that talent to be a decent offensive weapon as well. And we keep bringing up Jaden McDaniels, but that's just how Jaden McDaniels was. We didn't think of him as an offensive threat.
Like I said, I could definitely be wrong about this. It could be the other way. They might really want Kolek. They might really want Smith. Either way, for the record, I'm totally fine with it. If Ryan Dunn's name gets called at 22 or 24, 25, as long as it's us calling him, I will be very happy. I will be fully satisfied because we need to cover 3 bases. He covers one of those bases flawlessly. We also should mention we've seen a lot of mock drafts that have him down in the 30s. So there's potential to trade down with somebody else and get him. I don't know what's going on here, but I would say best case scenario, you're able to move down to 24 and 25 because the Knicks want one of those 3 guys that bad that you're able to get the other 2.
As much as me and you like Kolek, I think if they were to go to 22 and get Kolek and we ended up with a Dunn and a Tyler Smith, I don't think that would be too bad because the rumors are we're going to go ahead and get a Kyle Lowry or a point guard like that in free agency. So, I mean, you cover 3 bases there. You get yourself to the athletic wing. You get yourself a potential big that you might like or Bud might like in Tyler Smith, even though people say he's mid. He's still the stretch 5 type big that he would like. And then you go ahead in free agency and get you a Kyle Lowry or an Aaron Holiday or a Cam Payne, just 3 names of point guards right there. And then your offseason plan is complete at that point. So yeah, I think there's a lot of gamesmanship in these reports where the Suns are really trying to finesse their way into getting 2 players or the 1 player that they want. Absolutely. Let's also not forget there is a possibility that maybe they stay at 22 and get the person they want, and then they move some capital, let's say a Nas Little or David Roddy or somebody for some sort of 2nd round pick, and they get a player also as well. There's things like that too, but I think for sure your plan of getting 24 and 25, I feel like if they were able to do that, that would be some really heisty type moves. It would be wild if they were able to pull that off.